Hello and welcome into the Main Street Media TV High School Football Preview Show. It's the playoffs edition. Did your team make the playoffs? What kind of matchups do they have? Are they at home? Are they on the road? We're going to answer all those questions for you with sports editors and sports reporters from our Main Street Media of Tennessee newspapers. These guys are on the sidelines covering your favorite teams every single week, and the playoffs are no different. Make sure you pick up a copy of your local newspaper each week to read the stories and see the photos from your team's games. And Tuesday, these same sports editors and same sports reporters will come back together for the wrap-up from all of Friday's action. Well, let's get this week started with a look at who's playing over in East Middle Tennessee.
Everybody, this is David Wilson, East Middle Tennessee Regional Sports Editor for Main Street Preps. Give you a quick preview of all the second round playoff games across Wilson and Rutherford County this week. We'll start things off in Wilson County, where there are just two teams remaining in the hunt to get to Finley Stadium in University of Tennessee of Chattanooga for the hunt for the gold ball. It's Green Hill and Friendship Christian, and both will have different paths to get there. Friendship Christian will be on the road this week. The number 2 seed in the middle region, they will go to face the East Region champs PCA on Friday night at Floyd Stadium at MTSU. PCA, the number 1 seed in the East Region, got a first round bye, so they are well rested. Friendship Christian coming off a win over Tipton Rosemark in the first round of the playoffs, 49-7 at Pearl Field. Should be a good one as the Commanders and the Lions go toe-to-toe on Friday night. Green Hill, after its first ever win in the Class 6A playoffs over Smyrna last week by a final score of 42-14, they will host Science Hill from East Tennessee on the Hill Friday night in Mount Juliet. Science Hill upset Oak Ridge in the final minute of their Class 6A first round playoff game in East Tennessee last week. Science Hill coming in looking to pull the upset over the higher seeded Green Hill Hawks. In Rutherford County, we're going to have some road warriors from the Murfreesboro area. We'll start things off in Class A, where Eagleville, after their win over McEwen last week, will travel to West Tennessee yet again to take on Middle College. In Class 6A, Blackman will go on the road after their win over Gallatin last week at home to face Dobbins Bennett, who was the number 1 seed coming out of East Tennessee. Riverdale, after their road victory in the Friday Night Rivals game of the week at Lebanon last week, they will also be road warriors yet again as they travel to face Maryville, who is a region champion as well. Blackman, as I mentioned, going to Dobbins Bennett, and then Bradley Central is going to head down to Murfreesboro to take on Oakland, who started their playoff hunt and their quest to get back to Chattanooga with the win last week over Cookeville. So Oakland is the lone team in Class 6A in a non-private school to host on Friday night. PCA is the lone private school that will host. So just 2 teams in Rutherford County with home games on Friday night. And in Division II Single A, Middle Tennessee Christian, off their win last week over Chattanooga Grace, they will travel to West Tennessee and they will take on Trinity Christian in the quarterfinal round of the Division II Single A playoffs. So that will do it this week on the preview. Looking forward to talking to you guys on the wrap-up next week.
Now let's jump over to see which teams made the playoffs in North Central Middle Tennessee.
Only 2 Sumner County football teams remain in the TSSAA postseason. Here to tell you where they're playing Friday night, as well as the coverage we have coming up for Davidson and Williamson counties, I'm North Central Regional Sports Editor Blaine Kellar. Beach and Westmoreland were the lone 2 teams from Sumner County to survive the first round of the football playoffs. All 9 teams made it from that area, 7 of them suffering first round defeats. Beach, continuing its run in the Class 5A postseason, hosts Munford on Friday in a game that's bound to be a track meet, though not in the traditional sense. The Buccaneers and Cougars love to run the football. Tay Starks is a Mr. Football semifinalist for Munford, which has a 10-1 record, and the Cougars hardly throw the ball. The same can be said about Beach, led by 1,000-yard rusher and all-time leading passer Caden Powell at quarterback. That first statistic a little more gaudy than the second because of the supporting cast around him that continues to run the football with him. Shelton Swafford, Devin Crutcher, DK Williams, all a part of that rushing attack. Jeremy Laster, they get him involved at receiver as well. He's picked up a couple of big offers here of late in his recruitment. Speaking of recruitment, Beach's offensive tackle Jack Fuchs recently recommitted first to Penn State, now to Northwestern, so he won't have that over his head on Friday. It's a star-studded cast for Beach and its rushing attack going up against a formidable foe in the second round in Munford. The winner likely getting Page in the Class 5A quarterfinals. In Class 3A, Westmoreland overcame a 21-0 deficit to win 25-21 against Camden Central. Now, as their reward, they get Graham Simpson in undefeated Westview. Simpson, the younger brother of Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson and the son of UT Martin coach Jason Simpson. The Chargers offense just incredible once again. Graham Simpson probably the front runner for Mr. Football in Class 3A. He's a semifinalist, as was Tay Starks of Munford. So a couple of high-profile football players that the Sumner County teams are going up against. Ryan Harris's group will have a tall task in the second round going up against Simpson and Westview, which is undefeated and seems to be the favorite maybe to win the Class 3A state championship. Moving on to Davidson and Williamson counties. Before I forget, you can catch all of this coverage on MainStreetPreps.com, as well as in print in the Gallatin News, Hendersonville Standard, Portland Sun, and Main Street Nashville. The big game, one of the big games in Division II in the Nashville area, is a rematch of a tightly contested regular season contest between Ensworth and CPA. The Tigers had a first-round bye because of their solid season, led by quarterback Taylor Hasselback and coaches Tim and Matt Hasselback, former NFL quarterbacks. CPA with an upset in the first round, defeating Lipscomb Academy, led by Preston Patterson, who stepped in for the injured Rawls. Patterson at running back had a big performance on the ground and on defense as well. This game was pretty close in the regular season at CPA. We'll see if the same can be said when it's at Ensworth. Also in D2 AAA, you've got Brentwood Academy putting its undefeated record on the line against NBA and first-year coach Chris Chauvin. The Eagles, like Ensworth, had a first-round bye. NBA had to defeat Memphis University School to advance to the next round. We will also have coverage of Page and Kirkwood in the second round. Kamari Blair, a big-time commitment for the Cobras. Page, of course, being a tall task for any team, especially Kirkwood, after the Patriots are coming off a 62-0 win over Hendersonville in the first round. That's what we have coverage of coming up for Main Street Nashville, the Gallatin News, Hendersonville Standard, and Portland Sun. Be sure to check out our coverage there or online on MainStreetPreps.com. We will kick it back to you guys.
All right, we got a great start to this week's show, guys, and we are just getting started. There's a lot more action coming up for your local teams this week. Let's take a quick break and hear from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
He shoots, and he scores!
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
All right, welcome back. Southern Middle Tennessee sent several teams to the playoffs this year. How about we take a look at those matchups?
Hey, I'm Maurice Patton in Southern Middle Tennessee. Second round playoff action gets started at Richland in Class 1A on Friday night as the host Raiders 9-2 take on visiting South Fulton also coming in at 9-2. South Fulton, the number 2 seed out of Region 7 1A, defeated Westwood 24-6 in their opener. Richland advanced with a 48-13 win over Collinwood. The winner of this matchup will play the winner of Greenfield at McKenzie in a quarterfinal matchup next weekend. In Class 2A, Mount Pleasant travels to Milan. The Tigers going on the road at 9-2 after their 28-0 win over East Hickman to open the 2A playoffs. Milan improves to 10-0 with a 37-0 win over Mace, Memphis Academy of Science and Engineering. The undefeated Bulldogs are the champions coming out of Region 7 2A. That winner will play the winner of Peabody and East Robertson. That game will be played in Cross Plains on Friday night. In 3A, Giles County gets back on the field and will host McMinn Central. The Bobcats 8-3 after a forfeit victory over Chattanooga Central this past weekend. McMinn, coming out of Region 2-3A as the number 2 seed, defeated Pigeon Forge 21-0 in their playoff opener. The winner of this matchup will play Unicoi County and Tyner. They will play that game in Chattanooga on Friday night. In Class 4A, Spring Hill goes on the road taking on South Gibson. The Raiders 5-5 overall. South Gibson 8-3. Spring Hill advanced with a 41-34 win at home against White House this past weekend. South Gibson, the region champ in 7-4-1A. Region 7-4A. Excuse me. South Gibson defeated Millington 49-7. The winner of this matchup will take on Lexington and Springfield. Lexington knocking off top seed Haywood in their opener. They will travel to Springfield on Friday night. A couple of 5A matchups involving local teams as Lawrence County goes on the road to Halls over in Knoxville. The Wildcats 8-3 after their win over Ray County 38-20 last week as the number 4 seed. Halls advancing as the number 3 seed out of Region 2-5A after their 31-23 win over Tennessee High out of Bristol. The winner of that game will play the winner of this game as Knoxville Central travels to Columbia Central. The Lions 7-3 after their 70-42 win over East Hamilton as the region champ out of Region 4-5A. Knoxville Central, the runner-up out of Region 2-5A, defeated David Crockett 49-10 this past weekend. So again, Lawrence County Halls, Knoxville Central, Columbia Central, those winners will play each other in the quarterfinals next weekend. Finally, in Class 6A play, Independence makes the trip to Memphis, taking on Whitehaven. The Eagles 5-5 following their 27-20 double overtime win against Clarksville to open the 6A playoffs. Whitehaven, the number 3 team out of Region 8-6A, advanced with a 26-14 win over Bartlett. This winner will play the winner of Houston and Ravenwood, that game being played at Ravenwood on Friday night. That'll do it for our round 2 state playoff matchups out of Southern Middle Tennessee. I'm Maurice Patton. We'll see y'all next week.
We are ready now to check on the matchups for our teams in Northwest Middle Tennessee.
Hello everybody, this is Calvin White, Northwest Regional Sports Editor for Main Street Preps, here to give you a quick preview of all of the second round playoff action in Montgomery and Robertson County. We're going to start in Montgomery County. Kirkwood is the only Montgomery County team left in the postseason. The Cobras beat Brighton 31-7 last week in the first round of the Class 5A playoffs to win their first postseason game in school history. But now Kirkwood will travel to Franklin this week to take on the 4-time Class 5A reigning state runner-up Page. Head coach Charles Rathbone and the Patriots are undefeated at 10-0. They've got another really good squad that looks like it's got another chance for the 5th season in a row to compete for the Class 5A state championship. Kirkwood comes in at 9-2 after its postseason win last week. They travel to face Page. Over in Robertson County, Joe Burns is coming off a round 1 win in the Class 1A playoffs over Whitwell. They now travel to play Coalfield in the second round. Coalfield comes in at 9-2. East Robertson is hosting Peabody. East Robertson coming off a big win over Decatur County Riverside last week in the opening round of the Class 2A playoffs. East Robertson hosting Peabody in the second round. Peabody comes in at 9-2. Springfield hosting Lexington after Lexington upset Haywood in the first round of the Class 4A playoffs. Springfield coming off a big 35-7 win over Creekwood in the first round. The Yellow Jackets are looking to replicate their postseason success from a season ago when they made a run to the state semifinals in Class 5A last year. That'll do it for all of our second round playoff preview coverage in the Northwest region. As always, I'm Calvin White. I'll talk to you again soon.
We're moving right along, but let's stop for another word from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
It's time now to hop over to West Middle Tennessee.
What's up, folks? Wade Neely here. I'm your sports editor over in Cheatham County, Dixon County, and Hickman County. And it's time for a preview of round 2 of the TSSAA state playoffs. And of those 3 counties that I just mentioned, we're down to one lonesome squad. All of our postseason hopes will fall on the Sycamore War Eagles, who were victorious in their matchup last Thursday night. I knew something was up there. Last Thursday night in a win 30-27 at White House Heritage as the 4-seeded War Eagles, Coach Harrison and the squad going on the road, picking up the win. That's the good news. The bad news is they're on the road yet again, a much further trip versus a much tougher opponent as the Covington Chargers await them. 10-1 is Covington entering this showdown coming up on Friday night. Weather looks good, but it is going to be a long drive, and it's going to be a tough night for Sycamore unless they can come out and establish tone and tempo early. Hicks Hunter will need a huge game on the ground. Cody Scalf will need a big game throwing the football, and the Sycamore defense will have to be up to its very best if they are going to knock off the Covington Chargers over there in Tipton County. Covington comes in. This is a crazy stat, folks. Covington has been one of the dominant teams in 3A football, but has never won the 3A title. They never won a state championship. Been to the playoffs 29 times. They've been to 6 state title games as most recently as 2018, but they've yet to taste victory. A lot of that has to do with Alcoa being on the other side of that 3A bracket. But the Chargers will be out to try and take on Sycamore again. 10-1 are the Chargers. Sycamore comes in with a record of 7-4. But the War Eagles already with the 4 seed knocking off a 1 seed. Maybe they can see lightning strike twice in a win Friday night over in West Tennessee. It's going to be a fun one, folks. We look forward to bringing you guys updates throughout the Friday night events. And we also look forward to bringing you a recap at the Cheatham County Exchange and at MainStreetPreps.com. Once again, go out and see a high school football game on Friday, folks. TSSAA second round. Sycamore will be at Covington, and we'll have it all again at the Cheatham County Exchange and MainStreetPreps.com. Wade Neely signing out.
I hope you can feel the excitement in the air as these teams from across the mid-state seek to fill their goal of raising that gold ball in December. If you live in Middle Tennessee, the chances are pretty good that Main Street Media of Tennessee has a newspaper that covers your team and your community as well. To find out, you can go to mainstreetmediatn.com, and if you find your community's newspaper, maybe consider signing up for a subscription, or you can always find them at newsstands across your county. Good luck to all our teams this week. We'll see you Tuesday with the wrap-up show. Thank you for joining us this week for the High School Football Preview Show Playoffs Edition from Main Street Media TV.